Hello and welcome back to my tutorial series on Crusader Kings 2. I'm your host, Imperialis, and where last we left off, we had been consolidating young King Domnall's power and planning our next move. So I'm actually going to do something a little bit different here. I have my Chancellor up in Oriel fabricating a claim up here, but I'm thinking I might change what he's up to. If we look at Oriel, it's a wealthy province, which is nice, and how I said I was originally thinking of taking it in anticipation of potentially taking Ulster as well. However, since my overall goal here is to unite Ireland and become King of Ireland, going around and fabricating claims county by county is not the most efficient way to do it. I am still going to be using my Chancellor here to fabricate a claim, but I am instead going to move him down here to, what is that? Thormond and the petty kingdom of Munster. Because if I'm able to fabricate a claim on Munster, I could claim that duchy title, which would then give me the county of Munster. It would turn Earl Regenwald here into my vassal instead of King Mercad's. And if we look at the de jure duchies here, we'll see there's actually a third county down here, Desmond, which is currently independent, but I would have a de jure claim on that duchy, so I would have a reason to go to war with Earl, Uri Dutch, I think. I'd have a reason to go to war with him in order to incorporate him into my kingdom. That would leave Ossory here as kind of a little tag-along thing that still be independent, but I would have a nice little ring of control here. So that's what we're going to do with that. I've got a significantly more substantial military now. As you can see, I can raise up to almost 2,000 troops. I've taken quite a few losses, largely due to that mistake I made dismissing my levies, but they'll regenerate. It'll just take him a little while, and it's going to take him a while to fabricate that claim anyhow, so let's get this show on the road. And I desperately need to earn some more money. Now, though, I'm earning $430 a month, which is quite nice. So that money should recover fairly quickly. I'm just going to take a look at my vassals here, see what they think of me. So, some of them still don't really like me, largely because of the short reign, but that'll sort itself out eventually. And just take a quick look at my court, see if there's anybody here who really doesn't like me. Oh, she really doesn't like me. Why doesn't she like me? Not that she can do much about it. She's 1 year old. Okay, so she's just because she's got claims and stuff like that, she's not going to do anything about it. She doesn't like me. Foreigner, and I'm cruel. And she's envious. She'll be something to watch for. Or watch out for. Now, with all the times ticking along here, something I might want to do is start looking at potential betrothals for... Oh, that's a heck of a name. Tally 2, Nick? So she has a lot of options, but because she's my heir, I have to click on that matrilineal marriage. Really, really need to click on the matrilineal marriage. Now, this will be a betrothal, so this won't actually go into effect until until they both reach 16. But oh, somebody thinks they'd be a better steward. Let's see. You would be a better steward. You're not a huge fan of me. He's not a big fan of me either. But he still has the fired from council penalty, so it won't hurt if I fire him again. So I'll just swap stewards. Now... oh, minus 40 fired from council. Fired him twice. And set him back to research economic tech. And I'm going to set my marshal now that I can back to train troops, or to research military tech in Dublin. So its levies are full. Its levies are slowly filling up. And Leinster's levies are pretty much full. Oh, okay. Oh, wow, that came a bit quicker than I expected. So my liege, my work in Thormond seems to have come to fruition by bribing, cajoling, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to use it. It's going to spend all my gold, but that's okay. Before I do this, though, let's do a quick look. He has no allies. Check his realm tree, see how many troops he can get. He can get about 1,100. And his vassal here can get about 700, and he's going to get... oh, maybe 200 or 300 of those. So, check my allies. I have one who I don't think I can call to war. Nope. But I can call Bledin again. So, we will use this claim. And now, I can't switch him until June. So we'll wait until June and then we'll train some troops. One of the things I do like about Crusader Kings is how you don't sit there and rely on, what is it I'm thinking? Building units and sending them off and stuff like that. Like, you actually have to rely on your levies, which is just, I think, a lot more interesting. It prevents sort of building up stacks of units and being able to, I don't know, it's more realistic for one. Just looking to see here where I get the most. So it'll be Dublin. It'll give me the most troops. There, now I can reselect him. So I've set him now just to train troops again. And in a tick here. Come on. Oh, here's an interesting pop-up. One child lacks a guardian. Who is this? This is my uncle. My 6-year-old uncle doesn't have a guardian. So, children, once they hit 6 years old, need to be educated. And this will have a fairly significant effect on sort of how they turn out. And if he were my child, like if he were my heir, I'd want to be educating him myself. It just gives you more control over what happens to them. But because he's not, I'm just going to go into diplomacy here. and arrange to educate my child. Now, he has reasonable learning and a reasonable stewardship. I mean, when they're kids, they have very, very little in the way of stats, but that sort of gives you an idea of how they might improve. Oh, I clicked on arrange marriage, not education. There, that works better. So I want to first take a look and see if there's somebody with a high stewardship that likes me. She doesn't think I'm too bad. She has a poor learning, though. But she also has the Grey Eminence trait. Now, this is the most important thing you want to look at when you're looking down the traits, is who has the high education traits, because someone with a high education is more likely to pass on that same high education to their ward. So one possibility might be him. It would make him like me a bit more. He has a very high learning skill, and I mean kind of mediocre for the rest of it, but he's also got traits that I kind of like, because oftentimes they'll pass on those traits as well. So he's kind, patient, brave, and chaste, and wants to make money. Well, this won't get him any money, but it will get him some prestige. So I'm going to have him become the guardian of my uncle, and he'll go off and take care of that. And today my brother Domnall asked me for a fief of his own to govern. So he wants to control a county. If he was doing this after the war, it might be a possibility. But right now is not a time that I want to be mucking about with handing out any of my current counties to him. So if we look at my character, because I have a high diplomacy skill, I have the option of saying, oh, well, what about the church? Go off, join the church. It'll make him angry. But in all honesty, he's got an intrigue of 0. He's not going to be a huge threat, so I'm just going to, yeah, how about the church? And now he likes me even less. Another minus 25 because I denied him a title. I was wondering. Send him to Kildare to train troops again. Oh. Now this is my daughter. My daughter and heir. So her, I want to make sure I educate her myself. So go to diplomacy, educate child. I want to be the one in charge of educating her. So propose that King Domnall should become the guardian of her. And when you're guardian for a child, it brings up some interesting events and stuff like that. You can sort of control what kind of traits they'll end up with, and we'll see them as they come up. And I just realized I forgot to start my timer. I'm probably about 10 minutes in now. There. Otherwise, knowing me, I'd end up doing like a 3-hour-long episode. So you can see my gold is increasing. Kildare is slowly recovering its troops. I have him in here because this levy's already lower. Like it's slowly regenerating now as it is anyhow. And so by adding him in there to train the troops, he's going to let them recover a bit quicker. Sorry, it tends to cut me off during the... I suppose Just going to have him start fabricating a claim on Ossory, just to see if I can't get one. Because he has no allies, he's going to be pretty squishy to take out. Oh, my wife is pregnant. Okay, so I gain a little bit of prestige, and maybe I'll end up with a son. A son would be nice. How are my troops doing? Getting there. $1,600. I now Domnall, a distant relation, just as your kinsman. So I guess our Don child. So good for him. A book without a title again. Dad got this. Well, we're young. We're still in our 20s. So that means that over time I will get more prestige and piety by picking the second option than I would just by the lump piety. So it wants me to read it. The other thing I'd like to do is I'd like to get my gold up to around 100. That way I have the potential of hiring some mercenaries if I need to. And if I don't need to hire mercenaries, then I'll spend the money afterwards, probably to start updating or upgrading my county. Okay, the cook complained to me about Tiu's temper tantrums. Apparently she punched her son in the face. Again. So that kid shows spirit. Can end up with wrath. Increase martial, decrease intrigue, decrease diplomacy. Can end up with patient. Intrigue, diplomacy, stewardship, learning, defense, and all sorts of good stuff like that. So 30% chance of that. Or 50% chance, 40% chance of wrath. How bad is wrath? It's not terrible. Either one would be okay. I would rather have patient. But this would give me a 50% chance of it. That would give me a 30% chance of it. So I'm going to take this one. Because I wouldn't... I mean, having wrath wouldn't be terrible either. And she got patient, which is what I was hoping for. So that's one of the events that you can get when raising a kid. Wasn't one of the more entertaining ones, because half of them it'll just be like, beat them with a stick, that'll teach them. How are the troops doing? 422, that's not terrible. Gonna wait until these guys get up to about 500, and then I'm gonna switch them back to Dublin to train troops. And another daughter! All sorts of daughters! Okay. So we have Scotland, or Ireland's equivalent of Henry VIII here. Imeg. I like some of the random names that it comes up with. You can rename them if you want, but I tend to just keep them. I don't know, they just seem more appropriate than me naming them like Bob or something like that. Oh my, twins! Oh, hello. Okay, so I do have a son. Hey, look at that! And his name is Donchad. I fulfilled my ambition to have a son. Okay, so my next ambition. The book is the book again. We'll come back to that in a sec. So now that I've fulfilled that ambition, I can pick another one. And I'm going to want him to be able to pick up the ambition to become King of Ireland fairly soon. I'm not quite ready to do that yet. So I think instead I'm going to pick the ambition to improve my learning. Because my learning's at 7. So as soon as it hits 8, I'll have succeeded at that, and it'll get me an extra 100 prestige, which is nice to have. So we'll do that, and all I have to do is get 1 more point of learning, and I'll fulfill that ambition. I could have also done intrigue or martial to try and improve them, but they would take a bit longer because I need to gain 3 in martial, and I need to gain 5 in intrigue, so it'd take quite a bit longer. Oh, right, Oh, I only have the county of Thormond. Maybe I'll... Okay, well, we'll keep studying the book. Get ready to go to war with Thormond. See if I can grab the whole duchy. As you watch some birds darting nimbly through the air, you find yourself wondering why it is that man cannot do the same. There have been unsuccessful attempts to make flying contraptions in the past, but clearly those designs were all conceived by fools. Building a machine that can fly will help improve your learning. Oh. This might end up with him getting killed. Build a flying machine. Well, hey, let's do it. I haven't seen this event chain before, so... What's the worst that can happen? My 6-month-old son will inherit the throne. Okay, it took me several weeks before the mystery of the book revealed itself to me, blah blah blah, and I gained the trait Mystic. So I gain Intrigue, and other mystics like me more. And my brother had a daughter. Good for him. And one of the interesting, like you see here, how it actually gives them the trait, twins. Oh dear. In your quest to build a flying machine, you spend countless hours with dusty old tomes and parchments in an effort to learn about all the failed attempts to fly lest you repeat their mistakes. You are finally at a point where you think you've learned enough to begin construction of a prototype. I'm terrified. Okay, I will rule the skies. Maybe it'll help in the siege of Thormond. Fly over and bomb them or throw things at them. That would be interesting. Oh dear. Okay. Oh, we're at 512. Oh. The prototype of your flying machine is nearing completion, but it would probably be ill-advised to pilot the thing yourself on its maiden flight. Oh, thank God. At least he has that much sense. Fortunately, you know of several promising candidates who could probably be persuaded to take this historic leap of faith on your behalf. Otis, the cook's overweight son. Meldrick, the local dung gatherer and dog's body. And the dog belonging to the blacksmith's daughter. I really like dogs. If he's overweight, he's not going to fly. Meldrick, you're up. Off you go, dude. Good luck. Godspeed. You find a suitably steep cliff from which to launch the maiden flight of your flying machine. Meldrick hesitates, but after a combination of threats and cajoling, he agrees to be strapped into the contraption. You push him over the cliff and hope for the best. He plummets down like a sack of stones, trailing debris. Meldrick? You hurry down to the wreckage. Oh dear. Okay, anyhow, before the next event pop-up happens and I get distracted, I'm gonna... switch him to train troops in Dublin. Oh, and look at this. Here's something interesting that just popped up as I moused over that. Dublin right now. See the little cloud over top of it? There's something unpleasant going on here. There's a disease in... Yeah, right here, smallpox. Smallpox is struck in this county, killing almost half of those infected. So what I'm going to do because I really don't want my king to get sick, is I'm going to raise one of my smaller levies and put him in command of it. So now he's in Leinster. Interesting. Okay, hopefully that doesn't spread, because it'll tear through your people, and having smallpox or something like that break out in your capital can be very, very nasty. Fortunately, I have 4 kids, all of whom who could conceivably inherit, so hopefully they all survive. That would be fantastic. Or at least my son survives. Meldrick is bruised and battered but alive. Your flying machine was a failure, and to make matters worse, another scholar in Leinster has allegedly made his own functioning prototype. Just as you are about to surrender to despair, Meldrick gives you a toothless smile and says, "I have a cunning plan." Oh god, it's Blackadder. That's an Easter egg, I guess you'd say, for old BBC comedy series from the early 80s with Rowan Atkinson in it before he was Mr. Bean, where he played a fellow called Blackadder, and he had this lackey who was surprisingly intelligent, but one of his things would always, "I have a cunning plan." Okay, well, let's see this through to the end. I will regret this, but let's hear it. What is his cunning plan? Nope, and diseases spread to Leicester. How he did it will forever remain a mystery, but Meldrick has managed to steal the rival scholar's flying machine. He gleefully brings it to the cliff, but his grin vanishes when you inform him that he will be flying again. You send him over the cliff, and Meldrick enters a brief spiraling dive before slamming into the ground. So it wasn't just my machine. I feel better now. I killed the dung gatherer. Oh dear. Okay, despite your efforts, it seems the secrets of flight will have to be uncovered by future generations. Your attempt may have been unsuccessful, but you've learned much about the value of science and scholarly research. Your learning has improved. Gain 2 learning. And I fulfilled that ambition. I'm going to leave that for now, unless I have something. Okay, Mayor died of smallpox. My eldest daughter? Oh, this is bad. Okay, so she died of smallpox. My brother's wife. I arrange a marriage. Well, we'll leave it for now. Does Domnall have pox? No. Does his wife have the pox? Nope. Any other kids? Nope. None of my kids have the pox. No, she does have the pox. Oh, don't die on me, kid. I'd feel really bad. Oh, the smallpox outbreak is just getting nasty. Okay, just dismiss the levies. It's spread everywhere. It's over in Connacht. My other daughter has smallpox. So, especially with kids, smallpox can be pretty darn lethal. Which is why it's always important to have multiple heirs. Looks like she might have recovered from it. I'll keep an eye on my older daughter, though, see if she... And she recovered as well. That's good. And it looks like the outbreak is ending. The cloud has disappeared from over Dublin. So smallpox is one of the more minor outbreaks, actually. It's not the worst of the diseases. If the Great Pox is really, really nasty. Like, that'll basically reenact the Black Death for you as it tears your family tree to shreds. But how many minutes do I have left here? This is saying I have 4 minutes left. I might put a cut in here. Well, no, let's wait until the pox outbreak finishes. Take a look at my military situation. Kildare's fully reinforced. They're almost fully reinforced. We're just about ready to kick this off. Get this show on the road. Thormond will be mine. And with it, hopefully, the Duchy of Munster. Okay. Yeah, the outbreak's done. So I'm going to put a cut in here. Next episode, we will march on Thormond and go from there. After that, I'm probably going to pick the ambition to become King of Ireland. And see if I can't get King Domnall here to actually be king of everything, which would be kind of cool. So, with that, I'll put a cut in, and we will see you later. Please don't forget, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. See you next time. Cheers.